Listen to the Tommy Schnurmacher Show, live weekdays 9 to noon on CJAD 800 and CJAD.com.
Well, with Valentine's Day around the corner, not around the corner, it's tomorrow. Some people are probably feeling a little lonely. Not to worry, my next guest, just the person you need to find love, and she's here in studio to help you out. Natacha Noel is a professional matchmaker and the founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Natasha, what do you do to match people up?
Well,
how does it work?
They have to apply because we've got to go through a screening process and learn everything about them to see if there's a fit between myself, the matchmaker, and them. So they come into my office, we sit down for 2 hours, and we look at relationship goals, we look at their values, we look at the character traits that they're looking for in a person.
So you're asking them, it's a conversation, you're asking them a lot of questions?
Yes, it is a conversation, and we go in depth with even family history and past relationships. We talk about just about anything.
And how long does it take for you to decide if you're going to take this person on as a client or not?
You know what? I think it takes at least a whole hour to go through things, unless something comes up early in the conversation.
I figured this is not for you. So have you sent some people away saying this is not for you?
I usually tell them I'll put them on the waiting list. It's a little nicer.
Oh, I see. You're a little more diplomatic. Okay. Now, let's say they pass muster. You've had this conversation. You know quite a bit about them for 2 hours. This conversation has gone on. What next?
Okay, so then we will start going through our database. So we have candidates that might be a fit for them. They do personality tests as well. We also do DNA testing with a company called Instant Chemistry. And so it's a saliva test, and we also get to use that tool to match our clients. It's a wonderful tool. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah. The DNA test. What would you be doing with this DNA test?
We want to see there's chemistry that can't be.
And you can tell that from the DNA?
Absolutely.
If there's going to be romantic chemistry between the two?
So the more different you are in your DNA, the more compatible you are.
Really?
So opposites attract that way. Only because in terms of personalities, you want to be much more similar in character. But in terms of DNA, you'll be more sexually compatible, and you can even procreate and have stronger children the more different you are.
Wow, that's fascinating. Who knew? If you have any questions for our guest, Natacha Noel, a professional matchmaker, founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club, what would you say is the difference between compatibility and chemistry?
Well, compatibility is about getting along with someone on the long term. So character traits, you know what? Two people who are very patient are going to be compatible, right? Now, if you're someone that can't wait in line and your partner can wait forever, that's not too good. So we're going to look at things like that in personality tests, okay? For example, if you're very diplomatic, you're at the restaurant, you want to have a steak, and the steak gets served, and you like your steak medium rare, but it's way overcooked, right? You're diplomatic, you might not say something, but your partner might be the one turning the plate away and sending it back all the time and constantly. Those are little things that take a toll on a relationship when you're very different. So compatibility will test for those things. Chemistry is obviously when you have the hots for someone. I'd like to talk about something because you talk about chemistry. Physical attraction and chemistry are completely different. You can look at a photo. I can send you someone's profile, and then you'll think, you know what? I'm not attracted to this person. But then if I twist your arm a little bit and say, you know what? I think you should meet this person. You go out on that date and you feel, wow, there was amazing chemistry, which you couldn't tell in the photo. So people who are online dating right now may not have a matchmaker, but are always declining or passing on some really incredible people because they think that there's no chemistry from the photo watch out. Be aware that you might have an amazing chemistry with someone you're not so attracted to.
Now, in the example you gave, you said that the person's gone through this conversation. They've done the DNA test. You look through your database.
Yes.
And then what happens? You contact them. They go out on a first date. How does that work?
Yes, I organize the date from top to bottom. So we contact both individuals, and then we select a restaurant with and for them. And then they go out on the first date for cocktails, meet, and then they give us feedback. We call them. And
okay, right.
And then... Yes, feedback's really important.
Whoa, well, tell me about this feedback, the different examples. The guy says, oh, wonderful, she's fantastic. I want her to be the mother of my children. And she says, I never want to see the guy again.
Yes, typical.
Does that happen?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we try to make the feedback constructive and see why it is. Because sometimes it's just the chemistry. And then again, maybe they'll want to see each other a second time. But no, there are times when the guy just didn't ask questions. He didn't.
So you'll train him about what to do on the second date?
Yes, and we have coaches. Within
dating coaches.
Dating coaches.
Right.
Yeah. So Frank Kermit is my Montreal dating coach. In Toronto, I've got Carmelia Ray, and we just make sure that everyone is getting the feedback that they need so that they can get to the right person as quickly as possible. We're a shortcut. We make sure that, there's no time wasted, because sometimes there's things like emotional needs. Like Frank Kermit has this emotional needs theory, and he teaches all of my clients what it is the other partner needs.
We've got great questions for you. This is from Ron. He wants to know, did Natacha ever meet somebody in an interview she wanted to date?
I have not.
Okay. And how much, he also wants to know, how much does money affect attraction?
Ooh, very, very good question. Okay, so does the rich guy who drives a Porsche attract more? So maybe that's the underlying question here. It does affect. So if you're a superstar, if you're an artist, if you're a pop star, you are going to have that in your, that's one of those things that you offer and that you bring to the table. If you have money, you're going to be a little more attractive, but it's not the only thing that attracts. So height, confidence, the way you speak, your stance, your intelligence. There are so many things that come along and play a part in attraction, but money can do something for someone. Mm-hmm.
Let's follow another couple through this process. They've had the interview, they've gotten together, they said yes, they went out for that first date. How often, in your experience, has it been the feedback from the guy and the girl is perfect, love it?
Where the girl loved the guy
and he loved her from the first date. You get feedback like that?
I do. I have to say, Tommy.
Yes, okay.
I make some great matches, and it's amazing.
How many have you made
want.
where they ended up being together or getting married?
I don't have a marriage yet. So my company has been existing for 2 years. We just celebrated 2 years last month, and we don't have a marriage yet. But we have many people in relationships, and I hope to have an engagement soon that I can announce.
Oh, and are they living together in some cases?
I do have a couple living together, yes.
Okay. Natacha Noel, my guest. She's a professional matchmaker, founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club. How did you get involved in this, Natacha?
It was 7 years ago. I was looking for a job and I saw an ad and I responded to it. It was instant chemistry. When I read it, I knew this was for me. And so I applied. I remember the vice president of the company told me.
What was the job specifically?
Relationship consultant.
Right.
So basically the interviews to enroll members in the dating service.
And you knew right away this is something you love to do.
Absolutely.
This texter wants to know, Tommy, ask Natacha if she's married or has someone in her life if she doesn't have a problem with her suggestions. So,
I have someone in my life, been with him for 5 years. We are in an amazing relationship. I love him dearly.
Another one says, re-matchmaking, are we often wrong about what we think we like and want in a partner?
Yes. Expectations are somewhat sometimes unrealistic, and that's why a dating coach or a matchmaker can help with those things. And then we can guide you to open up your criteria so that you don't settle, but yet you understand that perhaps the person you're looking for may not be looking for you.
What's your take, your opinion on online dating?
I think online dating is great. If you have the time to screen through all the profiles, this is where everybody is today. In 2015, most people are online on dating apps or on different dating sites. And so there's so many niche dating sites. You got to figure out which one's right for you and where the people that you want to date are.
Now, if you don't have the time to do that and you're going to get a matchmaker such as yourself, give me the range of prices you would charge for your services.
Right. So in Montreal, matchmaking will go from roughly $2,000 to $20,000. At Absolute Bachelor Club, a really great package will be around the $5,000 to $10,000 mark.
All right, give me an example of what a $2,000 package is, and then we'll get to that $20,000 package.
Okay, great. So at the $2,000 mark, usually you're not seeing photos, and it's a dating service, so you're going on a totally blind date, and the only people you can meet are within the database of the company. When you're into the $10,000 to $20,000 mark, you get a search. So the matchmaker is going to be able to search outside of their client base for you, and you're going to see pictures, and you'll usually get unlimited matches for a set period of time.
All right, now this money is whether you find someone or not.
That is correct.
You're paying for the service, but you can keep looking indefinitely for the $20,000 package.
Usually those come with guarantees, so we'll go an extra year for you at no additional cost, and those types of guarantees.
Is there a bonus if there is a wedding?
Yes, there are bonuses. My clients love to give me bonuses for those things, for weddings or even for getting expecting a child.
What are your typical clients? How would they be different from people who do online dating?
My typical client is very picky. I have professionals, entrepreneurs, CEOs, business professionals, lawyers, doctors, and they come to me to find the one because they're successful in every area of their life and they just haven't found a person yet.
And what about the Absolute Bachelor Club?
Mm-hmm.
How did you start? That's your company.
Yes,
You started it.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
So 2 years ago, started the company. I wanted to offer the search in Montreal. So most dating services here do not offer the search. So if you look at the business side of it, it is a client-to-client business model where I go from client to member, the member being a non-paying client that can be introduced to my client.
Right.
And so I deal a little more with men looking for women, but I do have female clients. Absolutely. I love to work with the right women.
We're going to continue with your questions for Natacha Noel. She's the founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club, and she's a professional matchmaker. We'll find out why they call it the Absolute Bachelor Club in a moment, right after this. I just looked at Natasha's phone, and she got a message that said, listening to you on the radio, you're knocking it out of the park. Very, very true. Natacha Noel, my guest, founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club. Ace has something very interesting to say. He says, that's outrageous pricing. At that price, I'd rather just rent an escort once in a while. That's terrible. What would you say to Ace?
I think I heard that escorts can be more expensive than that, like $25,000 for the weekend. But you know what? I don't think there is a price tag. Yeah, I don't think there's a price tag to finding love. I would ask someone who thought the price was outrageous, who's had a relationship, who's been divorced, perhaps. How much did that cost them?
Now, you mentioned before that most of your clientele are men. So where do you find the women for these men?
They come to me through the website as well, and they come to me to either become clients or to just be matched. So they fill out the profile, and we interview each and every one of them.
Now wait a second. So would the woman pay the same amount as a man to be in part of your database?
Only the consultation. So for $250, they can sit down with us and fill out a complete profile and be matched with a client. Yeah.
Okay, and that's very different from the guy looking for.
Yeah, he's a client. We owe him matches, and
She's not a client.
She's not. She's a member. And
I see. So you don't owe her a client.
No, I don't.
Okay, this when anybody who spends $20,000 to meet a woman smacks of desperation. What would you say to that texter?
Oh, absolutely not. The cost for service, you're paying for the time. You're paying for someone's time. If you've got the time to go online, if you've got the time to go to the bar every day, if you've got the time to go to sit down in restaurants and dine women out until you find the right one, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
What's the average age of your clientele?
30 to 54.
30 to 54. And what about the name? Absolute Bachelor Club. How'd you get that name?
Yeah, I was looking for the best way to describe my clients, successful men. So absolute means complete, it means total, it means perfect. So the perfect bachelor, ready to meet and ready to not be a bachelor anymore.
Do you have any religious restrictions? Does it matter? Or you just ask people what kind of mix they want?
That's exactly it. There are no restrictions. We match everyone, whatever faith they are. Yeah, absolutely.
If the date's going badly, what would you recommend someone do?
Well, you keep it short, and excuse yourself. You don't have to hang out there for 2 hours, but, be polite. I mean, and there's always something interesting about someone. So you've taken the time to go to the date, ask a few questions, enjoy the moment. Just be there for the moment. Maybe that person's right for your friend. Okay.
All right. Do you have that discussion with the two parties before they go out on that date?
They get coached and they get some cues as to what to do, what not to talk about. There are topics you want to avoid on first dates, things like that.
And the dating coaches, how do they get experience to become a dating coach?
Well, they're all certified, so they have to take those certification classes. And then it's the best dating coaches either have extensive experience, personal life experiences, or they, they're psychologists at the base, or they have some base where they know a lot of things.
A pleasure talking to you, Natacha Noel.
Pleasure being here, Tommy.
She's terrific. Professional matchmaker, founder of the Absolute Bachelor Club. And coming up, if you already do have a relationship and want to make sure it stays okay, keeping a relationship happy and healthy, Dr. Jessica Kochen, a therapist specializing in working with couples, joins us. That's coming up next. And we'll end on this last text from Ace. He says, my point exactly, with an escort, you know exactly what it's going to cost, unlike finding the love of your life who might end up leaving you and taking half of what you own. Not very romantic, but there it is.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800, CJAD.com.